Had another Nick Sandmann moment in our media over the past couple of weeks. This one involves yet another, quote, Karen. All right. This is what the term they use to describe any white woman who gets into a negative encounter with any person of color, whether the white woman's right or wrong. If she complains, she's a Karen. Okay, fine. There was a woman who's being called Citi Bike Karen, because in New York, if you want to bike around, you can get these like sort of public bikes called Citi Bikes. And this woman was down to like the last bike and went over to get the bike, and chaos ensued. We've got a video of it. Forgive me, I'm looking up her name, Sarah Comrie, Comrie. She was a physician's assistant who worked at Bellevue. She is 6 months pregnant, and she says she rented and reserved this last bike and that she had paid for this last bike. And you will see her in this video surrounded by a couple of Black teenagers. They say they are teenagers. They look like, young men to me. They could be 18, 19, I don't know. But there's a confrontation and a disagreement over whose bike it is. And I'll show you a bit of the confrontation.
No, record him.
This is the whole thing.
Please help me.
It's not your bike.
Please help me.
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me. Help. Please get off me.
Yo, don't not take it, bro. Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Yeah, now you're not getting the bike. Help.
You're not getting the bike. I'm not.
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
I got
It's
your
my
video.
bike. I'm drunk.
Wait, you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna pull it out on your account.
You an actor. That's just my fake crying. She's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Why don't you take this bike?
Stop touching me.
I will.
Exactly.
Out of here.
So take it.
Baby gonna come out with something.
Wait, how you stop crying? Not a tear came down, miss. Not a tear came down.
That's the whole thing. That's the 90-second video that has ruined this young woman's life. She's been placed on leave by her employer with some ridiculous statement. I'll read to you. We are aware of the video involving a healthcare provider off duty and away from the hospital campus. The incident in the video is disturbing. The provider is currently out on leave and will remain on leave pending a review. As a health system, we are committed to providing an environment for our patients and staff that is free from discrimination of any kind. What discrimination? What are you talking about? They're accusing their own staffer of being racist in that encounter. And so many jumped on board this. Enter Benjamin Crump. Al Sharpton, I'm sure, is 2 seconds away from tweeting. Benjamin Crump tweets out, "This is unacceptable. A white woman was caught on camera attempting to steal a Citi Bike from a young Black man in New York City. How does he know? How does he know what actually happened here? There's a dispute. That's what that shows. She grossly tried to weaponize her tears to paint this man as a threat. This is exactly the type of behavior that has endangered so many Black men in the past." All right, so she's pregnant. He does have hands on her, but she's endangering the Black men by yelling help, right? Because she's in this confrontation with them. She says it's her bike. There's this person named Monique Judge who writes for The Griot and other left-wing publications. This is how she begins her piece. This is the headline. White women's tears have a long history of causing Black death in this country. Oh, okay. Oh, just ease us into it, Monique. I was having a conversation, she writes, with one of my good friends, and she made the following astute observation. You put a white woman in a situation, and a Karen will come out. Then Monique picks it up. Truer words have never been spoken. She calls Sarah Jane Comrie a Karen. She's the latest Karen and just excoriates this woman for her racism. She ends her piece by saying, everyone knows she's on leave from Bellevue Hospital as they conduct an investigation now. Everyone knows she could have caused harm to these young men. And now Sarah Jane Comrie is in the find out portion of the game. I hope she gets everything that's coming to her. She deserves it. Okay. As it turns out, Sarah Comrie had the receipt. Her lawyer has now gone on a media tour showing everyone, and all of the media, which is definitely against Sarah Comrie, ran it down with Citi Bike to see if the receipt is real and if she really did have the right to the bike. Guess what? It's real. She did have the right to the bike. It was her bike. She did reserve it. Those guys were in the wrong, trying to claim that it was theirs when it wasn't. And, was she a little odd seeming in the video? Yes, I will give you that. It was sort of odd. She's just, help. That's a little weird. Okay. But it's not racist. It's not racist. And this woman's life has been ruined. So far, she's not back at her job. She's expecting a baby. I'm sure she's feeling emotional to begin with. We all know you get a little spicy when you got a little baby growing inside of you. And for once, Benjamin Crump had to delete a tweet, amazingly, but no apology. No, I'm sorry, Sarah. I falsely condemned you as a racist white Karen, which was unfair to you and every woman named Karen. So is this another Nick Sandmann? And what does it say about us? Anybody?
Yeah, I was actually working on an essay on this yesterday, and I was thinking about how unnatural it is for us to look at these like quick clips and then like Benjamin Crump, he's an attorney. What is he doing? Posting an instantaneous reaction that smears someone worldwide, because on Twitter you have an international audience, based on this tiny little clip and based on this predicate that there's racial animus involved, when he truly has absolutely no idea. You can make assumptions based on a clip, but we know, we've seen this happen so many times. Covington Catholic and Nick Sandmann is a great example how clips can be deceitful. And so the fact that an attorney, let alone one with a lot of power and attention on his platform, would jump in, I think tells us so much about how social media has conditioned us to start weighing in on these situations that we don't know any of the people involved. We will never know any of the people involved, but yet many of us feel perfectly comfortable smearing them as racists in a way that pushes their employer to suspend them from work without any evidence. And I mean, if you take the races of the people involved here out of the equation, you have a group of young men getting physical with one woman who's on the other side of the dispute, whether she's right or wrong. It's become intimidating. You see how long it takes anyone to intervene in the situation, period, because the incentives of how we interact with each other are shifted when there's a camera phone on in public, and there almost always is now. Who would want to intervene in the light of what happened in the very complicated Daniel Penny situation on the subway, which is on everybody in New York City's mind? Who would want to intervene when someone is actually in need of help, when you know that your life, your family's life, your children, you could all be smeared and have to change your name and move to some rural area because of all of this stuff. I mean, it is so unnatural and sick. And this is another really good example of how truly screwed up I think social media has fueled some incredible dysfunction in our society.